You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds. Nerds!
Welcome back, everybody. We are back again at the halfway point of Peacemaker Season 2. We just seen episode 4 of Season 2. And James Gunn had teased that episodes 6, 7, and 8 he was keeping to himself. He's planning to, he's it seems like he's got some big plans for the end of the season. So he's kept that pretty close to the vest. But halfway point, this would be, I guess, the mid-season finale or whatever you want to call it for a regular series. But this is only eight episodes. We're at episode 4. Need I say door? And this pretty much focuses on the build-up to go and detain Peacemaker because they know he's got that door in his crib. So we'll start off, and I'll say this for again, I'm enjoying Peacemaker. There's more excitement for this show for me than for a lot of other shows that we've covered, and a lot maybe have to do with the fact that James Gunn is building out his universe. He started out with Creature Commandos, which I saw twice, which is a series. I saw it twice. Superman, I saw in the movies twice. And now this is his the third entry into his universe, which is Peacemaker. Now, other stuff has been kept canon. The Suicide Squad, there's been mentions that he's doing a lot of cross-referencing in other projects. There's been Easter eggs here and there. But we'll start off this episode. Someone on Twitter kind of said, "Oh, I think this is more of a filler," and I kind of agreed at first. But when I thought about it, I don't think it was more of a filler. It's we've been leading up to this because what Rick Flag Sr.'s agenda is to get Peacemaker for killing his son, and the secondary plot is the dimensional portal he has in his house. So it starts off with them young in the woods hunting with their dad. And a little disturbing for me, based off they're hunting. The father sees something. You really can't make out what it is. Shoot something, and the noises coming from what he shot were kind of, were a little cringe for me. I was just like, what did he shoot, And then you go when they show them get close to what he shot, and it was an alien. He finishes off the alien after one of the sons. He didn't know if it was Peacemaker or his brother. Told him not to. Finished him off. Of course, we know what the father is. He's very abusive. Backslaps the son for telling him what to do. The other son says there's something over there that he was heading towards, and it looks like the gateway, the portal. But Peacemaker or Chris finds something on the floor, picks that up that the alien had. It goes into the beginning, but it goes into the dance scene to start the episode, the intro to the episode. But this is showing us how they came across that portal, which is big because again it's just look, he has the closet in his house that goes to different dimensions. But now we know where they got that from. It wasn't it wasn't that he built it or anything like that. This is something that I guess they stumbled upon it and they stole it. They stole it from the aliens that were there. I don't know if there's more than one, but they definitely shot one and took that from the aliens, and they kept it. After all these years, again, father's dead in Peacemaker's original universe. Father's dead, his brother's dead, and he has the house, and that's where that portal is at. But last episode we left off. They're getting ready to raid Peacemaker's home. Economos goes to the truck and opens up the truck, and boom. Who's inside the truck, Pooba?
Judo master, man, and the conversation inside the van, it was hilarious to me. First and foremost, and I keep forgetting who the Eagle Killer is. His name.
His name is Red Saint Wild.
Yeah, it's Merle from Walking Dead, able to be racist all over again.
Yes.
So he called Judo Master a Chinaman, which he said, he said on Vietnamese, and the conversation, he kind of almost rats out on Flurry, saying that he winked at me. Bordeaux, which again, a new favorite character for mine as well. They're having they're having the argument inside the van while they're on there. She has to tell them pretty much to shut up. And yeah, you get this phenomenal, intense moment as they're getting closer to the house. Economos has to text Chris Peacemaker that they're on their way, and I have a friend that does voice text, and I'm gonna tell you that it comes out so funny when you don't read it. You just do the voice text and send it. But this one was, of course, a manual text that was all over the place that had to kind of be filtered by Peacemaker. I enjoyed, again, very small scene at the beginning with them all together inside that van, which I thought was really funny and great. So it's this part of the show is kind of airy and light and racist all at the same time. But the idea here is because there's an anomaly going on in this house. Remember, this is taking place after the Superman movie, so they've already seen this kind of rift in Metropolis. They cannot allow this to happen again, especially in the hands of someone that they don't think that's too bright in the sense of Peacemaker. I did enjoy the scene that you talked about. The shooting of the alien wasn't gore for me. I've never been hunting, and I never want to hear those sounds that you talked about. But to understand you couldn't make it any more simpler on why they had the multidimensional door, and I can enjoy that portion of it. It's very fast and very good. But the fact that one of the guys called Economos Hagrid, yo, come on. Like, you gotta, the first season it was Diebeard. I think Peacemaker was calling him Diebeard. Judo Master's calling him Fatty. You have all these names against Economos. And I don't know if he's a fan favorite or not, but for the most part. But the names that they throw out at him, I'm all in. But Economos, for the most part, in this scene, is trying to split in between. I need to be a friend. He had a moment to tell him that, hey, I was the one spying on you, and he kind of made sure that he went over that to make sure that he didn't kind of rat himself out in this whole situation. But again, the intensity of, and again, I got to learn a little bit more about Economos and when they got into the house. That I think he went to MIT. I think that he had hacked the Pentagon on a couple of things. So they were really building Economos up to be this hacker type of character. But when Furry was getting at him and Economos spit in his face, bro, come on. Like, what are we doing here? We saw that in the first week of the NFL, Dallas versus Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, Philadelphia. And now this. This needs to stop. I hope that this stops, that grown men, to settle an argument, don't spat in each other's faces. But, we've also learned during that scene that they also moved the door not only once, but they moved that door twice. So, really intense to get into it. Although, to what you said, in the sense of a filler, the show kind of went downhill from there. Like, that was the peak of it, and nothing else mattered after that. So that was just me.
Well, they did, because I mean, he escaped Argus. Adebayo picked him up, and he had to open that door because, remember, he tipped them off and said, "Listen, they're raiding your house." And Chris asked him to stall, so he could put that someplace else. Adebayo comes, picks him up. Before that, though, he has a little reunion. Him and Judo Master go at it.
Oh man, that was an awesome fight. That was an awesome fight. It's funny how there's a moment there that I thought he was gonna do like a John Cena move wrestling. Like, what a great moment to say, let's give a tribute to John Cena as the wrestler in this moment. And it was like Rey Mysterio fighting John Cena there for a moment. Is what I went straight to my head. I don't know if it did that the same for you, but I thought Rey Mysterio versus John Cena. But Judo Master takes a pounding, bro. Like,
absolutely.
I get that John Cena is big, and you could tell that he could take his licks. But man, Judo Master, not only can he fight, and again, it's a not even match in that sense. We're talking again, really, if this was wrestling, John Cena versus Rey Mysterio in the sense of sizes. But man, it's pretty impressive the beating that he can take after eating all those Cheetos. I'm trying to get to Hammond. But again, so that fight scene happens. Peacemaker is not happy to see Judo Master at all because he know that this is not going to be an easy fight. They're going back and forth. John Cena lands his full body weight and knocks out Judo Master to run into the rest of the woods to get to Adebayo.
Well, Peacemaker and Eagly are making their escape. At the same time, we got Bordeaux kind of is assigning who's going to go where. And Red Saint Wild and Economos are paired together. Now, at the same time, while they're escaping, of course, Red Saint Wild is there for one thing and one thing only. He couldn't care less about Peacemaker. He's all about Eagly. So him and Economos go to the side of the house, and he's got Eagly in his sights.
And Economos goes to save Eagly, bumps him pretty hard, and he hits his head, right? And at the end of it all, he calls it his third eye, which is hilarious. But yeah, so he starts lying to him because he's unconscious, right? He goes, what happened? Like he had Eagly dead to rights. So he explained there was a second eagle that came through like the woo and got him. And then he comes up with his own equation about Native Americans. And again, Rooker does a really good job of playing a racist. He did it as well, of course, in The Walking Dead. So he gets to play this role consistently, right? And nailed it, just nailed it. And then he's so unconscious, he hits a rock. He can't fathom what's going on in his head. He asks Economos what happened. Economos lies to him, said there was a second eagle. And, he's like, impossible. Eagles are solitary animals for birds for the most part. So, sorry, I must suffer from bird blindness as well. But, you get that. And clearly, you now know where Economos' loyalty lies, of course, because he saved Eagly. But now, all of a sudden, Red thinks that this eagle is the eagle of all eagles, the alpha eagle, that it will solve America's problems by shooting and killing this eagle. So now he is absolutely obsessed, so much that we see this uncomfortable scene for me of a grown man dancing in his undies in the fire. But man, Economos got to give a shout out. Saved Eagly.
So that part is leading up to now. Of course, he showed his loyalty because he did warn him as far as, look, we're coming through. Argus is coming through. So you got to get out. You got to, if you got to do something about that portal that you have. I don't know if he knew that he can move it, but he warned him. Adebayo picks him up. They move it over to the hunting. It looks like that hunting shed where that first scene of this episode took place. And they have a real heart-to-heart because he really opens up and tells Adebayo what's going on. As far as with the other dimension, she kind of, as as the friend is, she seems like a true friend. Look, she went and picked him up, no questions asked, once he hit her with the text. And now she's really giving him the for real about, listen, that just because it seems great, that doesn't mean that that's what's meant for you. It was a pretty deep scene that she's trying to kind of open his eyes. Like, yeah, I get it. You got everything you want over there. You got hardcore. Your brother's there. Your father's not a jerk, and he's alive. And you know, he said, you know, my dad loves me. You know, it was. I understood what he was saying. You know, like, yeah, that's everything I want. Why wouldn't I want to be there? Especially being that there's no me there. There's no Peacemaker there because he killed him. So he goes, yeah, I kind of fit right in. Look, yeah, you wearing his clothes? Yeah, they fit. And look, I got same DNA. I passed an eye test.
I passed the eye test
at security. So yeah, everything I can walk right in and fit right in and be good. It's perfect. They love me. I'm a hero. And he said I can't catch a break here. And to me, that, I mean, I know it wasn't what we're looking for in a Peacemaker episode, especially since last week we had all this action. But that was pretty deep. She's trying to talk him out of, like, dude, just because that's got everything you want, that doesn't mean that you need to be there. God placed you here. This is where you belong. So we lead up into Vigilante shows up.
Oh, love Vigilante.
Because that's his boy. And on the way over there, he said, look, I need you to bring some doors from Lowe's. So he obviously he's trying to get that portal set up in in that shed, that shack, whatever it is, that cabin. So it's really out of the way. Like, who's really going to find it there, which is a good idea, I thought. Get it out of his house. And look, he kind of almost was able to hack the lock in his house, and just in time for Peacemaker to switch it over to the cabin, and they found just a regular closet. And Rick Flag said, listen, just because, what does he have a lock like that if it's just a regular closet? So they're not buying it. So they're still kind of aware. Peacemaker's one last thing that he has to do is he has to reach out to Harcourt. But there is, before he's able to reach out to Harcourt, something happens at her apartment.
Oof. Yeah, you know, Flag Senior showing up was, of course he calls. Well, I think he calls Bordeaux or somebody. I forgot who he called, but he said, "Get me Harcourt's address." Goes to Harcourt's address, gets a cup of coffee, and it felt a little uncomfortable for me because it felt like I didn't know if there was an attraction there, if there was beef there. Is there any how do you say, like, just tension between knowing the fact of what happened to his son? It was really, really good because she totally respected him. First, he called everything General, was it? She called him General. He said, "Don't call me General. It's just Rick." He wanted first name basis. But we get to the point of it, right? So we find out it was Harcourt who said everything about Peacemaker to Rick Flag. As much as he read the whole thing, she's the one who actually told him everything that happened. And then we kind of find out how she got blackballed. But they didn't say blackballed. They saw black booked. I never heard that term. Have you heard that term, black booked?
No.
That must be some military term, I guess. And shout out to the military. So the conversation there gets really deep. They talk about her being black. I'm gonna say blackballed because black book sounds weird to me. But she was blackballed by Waller. Like, one of the final things that Waller did before she got kicked out of being director over there for Argus is that she blackballed her. So she couldn't get into the CIA. She couldn't get anything. But when they sat down, had a conversation, that's when it kind of calmed down for me. And he could see a daughter-in-law in how he was talking to her. But she gets a chance to get out of this blackball by giving up one of the 11th Street kids, Peacemaker. And you can see the conflict in her face right away.
Well, the awkwardness, I guess, you felt was probably because he knows that she's cool with him, or that she has access to him, or she has a relation. That's not a relationship, you know, but they are friends, you know, and he saw the picture of them on the wall. So I guess that's where that awkwardness comes from. Look, you got a picture on the wall of the guy who killed my son. You know what I mean? So, but I hold your career in my hands. I'm giving you another shot. Here's the shot to get back into. She said, my utilities, they're about to be cut off. Yo,
Yeah.
so here you go.
Yeah, because she was looking at that Walgreens job.
This, yeah, exactly. No, the waitress, I think, is when. Oh no, she was in the pharmacy. Yeah, she was in the pharmacy. So he's giving her the opportunity. This is what you want, and that's what we've kind of got from her, is that this is what, you know, this is all she cares about. She don't care about him. She don't care about Chris. She don't care about none of that. She wants her career back.
But she's not happy about it either.
No, she's not. Yeah,
she's
she's
not
not
happy about it either. So while she knows what she wants, she'll do whatever it takes. She's still conflicted.
No, of course
she's still conflicted. Yeah,
but she does go through with it and says she gets a text from Chris because he does want to find out where they're at in this universe before it looks like he looks like he's really trying to fully commit to the other universe, because there he has Harcourt. She does tell Rick Flag, I'm gonna meet him, and this is where I'm gonna meet him at.
Yeah, she's skinny. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where we end episode 4. Now, while Chris is on his way to meet her, borrows his bro Vigilante's car so he can do that. Of course, he drives past where Judo Master was knocked out, and who comes out the woods? Judo Master comes back out. So he's not done yet. But one of the last things is Red Saint Wild was Michael Rooker. He's doing some type of dance, some type of seance where he's able to project his astral being, and he's following Eagly. Now, this is, from what I've read, this is somewhat of a nod to 2 DC characters, Buana Beast and Animal Man, who kind of possess those same abilities to kind of control animals or follow animals or track animals. So a little bit of an Easter egg there. I'm sure there's a whole bunch. Like I said before, it seems like James Gunn's kind of playing with his toys and having a blast doing it, because he's dropping Easter eggs. There was even a reference to Future Commandos when Rick Flag Sr. said, I broke my back. So 4 episodes through. We're at the halfway point again. Thank you all for all of you who subscribed and gave us support throughout these 7 months. We will be back to finish off this series. 4 more episodes to go. Like we did speak about this before. 6, 7, and 8 seem to be like they're gonna drop the hammer with a lot of stuff. These are being. Was that?
They kind of need to. Like, again, I know that people are saying that this was a filler, but we got a high note from all that fighting in the previous, like you said, and this one kind of felt it down, and they have to deliver it, because you know what it is? They're dropping a lot of Easter eggs too. They're dropping a few Easter eggs and everything else. Now it's time to deliver. But
we have to kind of understand that he's setting up.
He's cooking. Yeah, he's cooking. He's cooking.
He's setting up. He's setting up the rest. Anyone, if this is your first time here, you like what we're doing, please like and subscribe and share. For Puba, for myself, we will return.
The worst episode ever.